If you own a condo in Toronto and you're thinking about renting it out, either on a long-term or short-term basis, there are a few rules and regulations you need to know about. Renting out a condo isn't always as simple as just listing it online, as you need to navigate condo bylaws, city regulations, and even provincial laws. So in this video, I'll break it down so that you can rent with confidence. Because we are talking about renting out a condo unit, your first move always is to check with your condo corporation's bylaws. Every condo board has its own set of rules about rentals. Some may allow short-term rentals like Airbnb, while most strictly prohibit it. Buildings might also have rules and regulations regarding typical long-term rentals, such as requiring tenants to sign a minimum 6-month or 1-year lease, or mandating that anybody signing a lease for a particular unit in a building has to be related to one another. Believe it or not, I've experienced scenarios where unrelated roommates are not permitted to rent a unit in that building. It's super important to get this information directly from your property manager or the condo board to avoid fines or even legal trouble. Now let's talk a little bit more about short-term rentals. If you're considering Airbnb or any short-term rental in Toronto, you need to follow the city's rules in addition to the Condo Corporation rules. And in Toronto, you're only permitted to do short-term rentals at your primary residence. This means that you cannot operate a short-term rental business out of an investment property. Plus, you'll need to register with the City of Toronto as a short-term rental operator and pay the municipal accommodation tax, which is currently 4%. As you can see, this severely restricts who is legally permitted to operate short-term rentals, and it's really only for those who travel quite a bit and want to rent out their condo when they're not there, or for those who want to rent out just a portion of their property, for example, one room. Now let's swing back to long-term rentals. When considering this option, in addition to complying with your Condo Corporation rules, you'll also need to comply with Ontario's Residential Tenancies Act, the RTA. This act protects both you and your tenants and outlines the rules for rent increases, evictions, and maintenance responsibilities, amongst other things. It's actually an extremely important piece of legislation that all current and potential landlords need to become familiar with. And whether you're renting short-term or long-term, make sure that you have the right insurance coverage. Regular condo insurance likely won't cover rental activity, so speak with your provider about landlord or short-term rental insurance. And finally, don't forget about taxes. Rental income, whether it's from an Airbnb guest or a long-term tenant, is taxable. Make sure you're keeping detailed records and potentially hire an accountant to stay in the good books with the CRA. So to sum up, renting out your condo in Toronto can be a fantastic opportunity, but it's so important to follow the rules to avoid fines, legal issues, or conflicts with your condo board. Thanks for watching and happy renting.